What's up, y'all? This is Jason. We're going to replace the battery in this 91 Camaro. This is a 91 Camaro RS. It's got the 3.1 motor, and here we are with the Duralast Gold. It's in November 2018, and here we are in October of 2023. So I've got all the life out of it. This car's been in the shop recently, spent some time in the shop, and whenever I picked it up from the shop and I went to crank it, I heard, so, you know, this battery's on its last leg. So after a couple of trips, I could understand with it sitting there for so long, the battery dying down, but after a couple of trips, it still kept on doing the same thing. So, and I'd really rather not go into winter with a 5-year-old battery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on Autozone's website, and I'm going to make sure that they got this battery before I take it out of the car and take it down there to get another one. So, but it's super simple, y'all. I think these are 5/16. I'll tell you for sure when I get the wrenches out. But anyway, take the negative off, take the positive off, in that order. Look, an easy way to remember it, you're going to subtract, you know, the symbol for negative. All right, it's a minus. Some people call it the ground. I always call it the negative. All right. Why? Because there's a negative sign. So you subtract this one first. Take this one off, and then you take this one off. Okay? And when you put them back on, you're gonna add this one first, then put this one on. In that order. It matters which way you take them off and put them back on. At least I've always been told it does. So I just go about what my dad told me. All right, y'all, let me get on with this. I checked Autozone's website, and they do have the battery I need, which is a direct replacement for this one. I'm gonna get the Duralast Gold again. They last me pretty good. And when you know it, I can't find the socket for this. And I've got this little crescent wrench. That's what I'm going to use, just to make sure it's got a good fit. And like I said, I'm going to take the negative off first, and then I'm going to take the positive off. And hey, y'all, don't let them sell you any battery grease. It's just dielectric grease. I've talked about this in one of my videos before. If you want some battery grease, don't let them charge you $2 for a little bitty packet of battery grease. Get the tube. I think it comes in Permatex brand, and the several other brands is dielectric grease. You will have paid, if every time they sell you some dielectric grease, if you look at quantity by the amount of dielectric grease or battery grease or bulb grease, it's all the same thing. That comes in one of those little packets. By the time you buy enough of those packets to equal what's in a tube of grease, you will have ended up paying like $40-something for enough dielectric grease to equal what's in that tube. And that tube only cost, at least last time I looked, was only like $8.99. All right, so if you want something that's going to last you for a while, just get the tube of it, and you can use it every time you put bulbs in, you put batteries on, you put spark plug wires on. It's got many purposes. All right, let me get this battery out of here. Okay, so I thought I was going to use this, but this car's been in the shop, so they put a fuel pump in it, and I'm sure they took the battery cable loose, and it's pretty tight. So I'm not going to use this because I don't want to round the head of that screw off. So I'm going to see if I can find the right socket for it instead of giving up on it. All I had in my bucket that I usually keep a lot of my commons in was a bunch of metric stuff. So I got to do some looking. Okay, like I told you before, it's a 5/16. I went and decided to be patient and find the right wrench. So get this battery taken off here. It helps to have the right tool for the job. So I'm gonna cut the video off so I can use both hands, get this done, and get this battery out here. Head to AutoZone. So super important, in case you didn't know, all right? I didn't just do this, but I didn't want to leave this off. If you've never changed a battery out before, you never want whatever wrench or tool you're using to arc out against both terminals, you're going to get big sparks and all that kind of good stuff. And you know how a lot of times they say to take your battery loose before you fool with other things that may be electrical? Well, I have taken alternator off before. No, I've moved the alternator out of the way because I was doing something with spark plugs, and I didn't take the battery loose, and I was tightening up some things or whatever, and my wrench arced out on the alternator. So that was good and scary. Sparks, scary, pop. Wasn't expecting it. That's why it was scary. So anyway, what I always try to make a good habit of is whenever I'm taking these loose, I try to make sure that I don't touch anything, okay? I believe there's one that you might can get away with, like the positive or the negative. Like if you were using the negative and you touch something versus using the positive and you touch something, it arcing out. But I don't know which one it is. So let's just be smart. And when you're taking these terminals loose, don't touch any metal, okay? And don't make sure your wrench doesn't touch each terminal at the same time. All right, let me get the other one off. So the next thing is, see down there, that bolt head right there. So need a long socket, long extension on a wrench, and on a ratchet, excuse me. And what this is just, this is a hold down. You can see I can't get this battery out. So loosen this up, I'll take it all the way out, and then this thing will come out too, this black plastic piece here, and then we'll be able to take this battery right out. Okay, so we got 13mm socket on the extension with a ratchet, and we're gonna get this thing off. Like so. All right. So this is what it looks like. Typical battery hold downs, kind of like this. Okay, the slip goes over the edge of the battery. No biggie. Now I can pull this battery straight out of here. Y'all check this out. I thought this was a November 2018 battery. This is 11/16 battery. I can't believe this battery was even still working in my car. 11th month of 2016. Okay, so we got us a new Duralast Gold. This is a 923 battery. And hey, maybe this will last me a while. Now check this out. You know how I warned you about that battery grease? So she tried to sneak her little battery grease on me, along with the red and green rings that they sell you to go along with it. They don't even ask you if you want that crap, but they're going to throw it on there and charge you $3.49. I didn't ask for it, and I'm not paying for it. So, look, like I said before, I've got that dielectric grease. It's the same thing as that battery grease. Don't use it. Stop wasting your money on that stuff that they try and sneak on you at AutoZone. They know that they're doing wrong by sneaking that stuff on you. $3.49. What a waste. This battery costs enough. I mean, it's not like AutoZone's any higher than anybody else with the battery, and they got good batteries, but they try and screw you over with that battery grease. So here we are. This is the Duralast Gold, and it was $209.99. Of course, I guess the way it goes is if you don't have a core, that they mark it up $22, but then they subtract the $22 for your core trade-in. And there you see that stupid battery grease there that they call Duralast Gold. What is it? An installation kit. I don't need an installation. The only installation kit I need is a little dielectric grease and my wrench and my battery cables. All right, so the total came out to $228.49. And I got a refund on the battery grease, or the install kit. Let's take this thing home and get it put in. Hey y'all, I've got this dielectric grease. This is what I use instead of bulb grease or battery install kit grease. Use this for your spark plug wires. It's basically a silicone compound to help keep everything clean and dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squirt this up in where the threaded area is, or on the threads of the bolts hold the battery cables on, and that way it'll help make a good seal and help keep water and corrosion away. So where is it? I can't find it. All right, there it goes. Squirt some dielectric grease on here on this Q-tip, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to stick it up in here, up in the threads of this battery, where your battery cable attaches. And I'm also going to kind of put some on the face of it, and I'm going to do the same thing for this one, but I can't hold my phone and squirt dielectric grease on this Q-tip at the same time. So you get the point. I did one, I'm going to do the other one too. So I told you this was a 923 battery. I like to also put the date on the top of the battery, because to me it's kind of dumb that they put it over here on the side, because you can't see that from the top of the battery. I like to be aware of how old my battery is. So I wrote it on the top with a paint pen. So I got the battery hold down back in, and y'all, you don't have to kill this thing. The whole purpose of this thing is just to make the battery to where it won't slide around and jump around. So I can pull on the battery and it's holding it in place. I could have kept on tightening the thing down even tighter, but I mean, what's the point of breaking this thing? It's not necessary. It's just to hold the battery in place. So next, put the battery cables on. The red, which is the positive, is going to go on first, and then I'll put the negative on. So y'all, got my cables on. Like I said, I put the positive on first, then I put the negative on. I've got them tight enough that they don't move. Well, I guess if you drag on that one enough, it will. Let's see about this one. Get tightened up just a little bit more. Because with a bad connection like that, you can have trouble with the car cranking. Look what else I found here. This car doesn't get run that much. It's been sitting at the shop for a while. So we got a collection of, I guess it's insulation and stuff from under the carpet and all that kind of stuff. A nice little mouse or something was making me a nice little treat there. This car has been sitting at the shop for a couple of months, so that kind of stuff can happen quick. Y'all, it is cooking in this car. It was a cooler day when it first started off today. See how well she cranked. Sounds good to me. What do you think? Battery in this 91 Camaro RS with a 3.1. replace the headlight in my wife's car. It's not just to replace the headlight. I had to buy a new pigtail and or a new socket because it was damaged, and got to do a little wiring and fix that. Hey, y'all, if you watch this video all the way through to the end, I appreciate it. Appreciate you spending your time with me, and we'll work on something else. All right, y'all have a good one. Y'all have a great week and have a good weekend. It is weekend right now, at least for me. It's Saturday. Talk to y'all later.